I find that a lot of artists have the difficulty of expressing themselves verbally. It's something I've struggled with for most of my life. I have all these ideas in my head, things I want to create, but I just don't know how to get them out of my head. I have a great idea of something, and I find such difficulty to find the words to explain coherently so someone can understand what I'm even trying to explain to them, or any of the ideas that I have. Even now, as I talk and try to express what I'm thinking, I find it very difficult to find the words to express each individual thought. For example, right now I'm thinking of the whole idea of expressing yourself, and I'm also thinking about art and how it can be difficult at times to take what's in your head and put it on the paper. I have so much going on in my head, I struggle to really explain it in words. So I find that a lot of times I just keep it to myself. Most artists tend to be introverts. They prefer to be alone, working on their hobby and their passion. And we like having that time to think about things and to reflect on life because it's kind of difficult for us to explain it in words. When I think of something or I have an idea of something I want to draw or create, or maybe I have a new idea for something at work or a new creative solution to solve a problem that I've been struggling and working on for a while, I don't think of it in words. I don't think of it in verbal language. I think of it in abstract ideas, and I think of it more so in images and more so with touch and all the other sensations that you have, your sense of touch, smell, taste, and hearing. I don't really think of things in words, such as when someone asks me the direction to get to somewhere. For example, they'll ask, what's the direction to get to this retail store? They'll ask me the name of a road, they'll tell me a couple of names of roads, and they'll go into great detail, ask me about the question, but they'll give me some details about what they know. And even the details that they know, be it very little even, still more than I know because I have a really hard time trying to remember details in the form of words, like in the form of information itself. I tend to just remember things and imagine as ideas. So when I explain to them how to get somewhere or the location of something, I think of it as how did I get there based on how things looked, my surroundings, and I think of the direction that I was going, where was the sun setting at? What did it look like outside? What was I thinking of at the time? And I'm able to attach my thoughts and ideas to a certain time, and depending on what I was thinking about, I can attach that to the location, and I can remember where I was and what I was doing. I'll know the exact thoughts I was having. But if you ask me the name of a road, I'll just look at you blankly and not even remember. And the difficulty of trying to express yourself verbally, it can make you feel incompetent around other people, and they might not think that you're very intelligent. And for some of us, it makes us feel like that we have a lower IQ. Although I think that IQ, the whole IQ test, isn't really completely relevant to someone's intelligence because depending on what the questions are on the test and depending on what they would classify as intelligence, depending on what those questions are, is going to score you higher. But let's say, for example, you have something that you're intelligent at or something you're good at that isn't part of the whole intelligence and the whole curriculum that they have for gauging what it is that makes someone smart. What if what you're smart at isn't on that? Does that mean that you're not smart? But if they were to take a test that tested them on things that you're good at, then their test would be lower. Although myself, I've never actually taken a true IQ test. I've just gone online and done those free ones, which are pretty much useless because they're not official IQ tests and they're not really reliable. So I really have no idea what my IQ would be. But anyways, I think that when you have that problem, that people don't think that you're very competent or very smart because you have a difficult time trying to express yourself in words. It makes friendships hard, it makes things at work hard, and sometimes it can halt your progress in your relationships, or maybe you're trying to move up at your job, and say your job is something to where you work with the public a lot, and so you have to practice more verbally and working on your social interactions with people so that you can advance at your job. And you have to really work on whatever it is that your weakness is then, and really practice that. Just because you are a creative person and you might struggle explaining things verbally doesn't mean that you can't get very far in the whole socializing world. And doing these podcasts for me, I guess you could call it a podcast. I wouldn't really know what other format it would be, but I find that whenever I sit down or I lay in my bed and I think about things, I have very complex ideas and solutions to things, but I don't know how to explain it to someone so that it can be understood for them to apply it themselves. For example, some jobs maybe you're looking for someone that's creative, or maybe it's in gaming and they want someone that's creative that can that's really creative with coming up with new ideas for games. So you can pursue a career or a job that involves being creative. And something I notice about myself is that when I'm talking to people and I'm trying to verbally express what I'm thinking about, my mind is thinking way ahead of what my ability to verbally communicate can keep up with. I mean, it's kind of like if you, let's say, for example, you're watching a video online, and let's say you have really slow internet, okay? Now, the video will do what's called buffering. And the way I think of it is verbally, my ideas are so far ahead, it's like, it's just like the video timeline of the video is loading and buffering. It's like verbally I stop and I can't keep up with my thoughts. And I had that happen so many times. I'll be talking to someone and I'll be telling them a story, or I'll be telling them something about, say for example, they ask me a question and I'm answering it. As I'm answering them and answering their questions, or, expressing my thoughts or ideas or some creative solution, mid-sentence I'll just stop and I'll actually forget what I was even talking about because I'm trying to connect my thoughts to my speech, but my thoughts are so far ahead. But when I try to slow down my thoughts, verbally I catch up with it, but then my thoughts stop and I lose that creativity. And I find that most of the time, if I have something that I have an idea for, instead of explaining it in a lot of words, I'll just use a small amount of words. And this is more so for when I'm alone at home. So let's say I have an idea for something, and let's say the idea is for a new type of drawing that I want to do. And let's say the drawing I want to do is of nature. So I'll have a little booklet beside me that I write notes in for my ideas and things I want to draw. And on that, I'll just write nature. And whatever the idea was about, let's say for that nature, which is part of the topic, I'll have a subtopic and it'll be tree. And whatever my mind is thinking of in that instance of creativity, whatever that creative idea is attached to, whatever memory, I'll write that down. So it'll be nature, tree, and let's say that memory of something from my childhood. And let's say it was from when I was 12 years old. But because I have difficulty with math and specific information like that, instead of writing 12, I would write, 6th grade, or a memory of something with a friend. And then I'm able to work from there. And I also find that when I am trying to explain something to someone or express myself, I go into a lot of detail, and it tends to be so much information that it kind of dilutes everything, and then they don't really understand the point of what I was trying to say. And that's another difficulty I have a lot of the time. But I've been working on it, and I don't think that just because I have difficulty with it doesn't mean that, that you can't get better. Of course, anybody can get better at anything. You just have to apply yourself. So if you're having difficulty, expressing yourself verbally to other people, that's something that I can completely understand. And hold on, thinking about some stuff. Just like right now as I'm talking, I have all these ideas that I'm thinking about, and I've had many instances where I had an idea come to my mind that I was going to talk about. So it was something that was going to be maybe a few paragraphs later on from now. And as I'm talking, my mind is jumping to 2 paragraphs ahead, and then verbally I catch up 1 more paragraph. And then my mind is another 10 paragraphs ahead, and then verbally I catch up 1 more. And then eventually my mind is, 100 pages ahead in ideas, and it's gone down all these, details of everything. And then I just stop talking, and then I think to myself, wait, what was I talking about? And people give me strange looks when that happens. If I had time for I'm just talking, all of a sudden I just instantly stop talking and I just give them a blank stare. Then I'm like, what were we talking about? So that's why I've always felt more comfortable expressing myself in creative and abstract ideas or in things that are related to art and creativity rather than trying to express it verbally. But I think that doing these podcasts will help me improve expressing myself verbally and to try to help other people have an understanding of what's even going on in my mind. So don't let something that you're not good at hold you back and prevent you from doing the things that you do enjoy. Just practice, just work on it, and just keep moving forward from there. And don't be afraid to express yourself. Just be you. So get out there, keep creating, and no matter what, if you struggle expressing yourself verbally, there's always going to be those that will understand you and the way that you express yourself artistically.